Hey everyone, these are notes over 8A, and you should already have a copy of this, but if you don't, you can print it from the website. You're going to fold it what I would call hot dog style, so that you are looking at the dark lines here. And then we're going to take our scissors and cut across these dark lines here, and then we'll have kind of a flip book that we can put in our journals to help us remember how to find these areas. So go ahead and cut those. And when you're done, come on back to the video. Alright, so our first one is area of a rectangle. We've been practicing this quite a bit this year, so I'm going to go quickly, but you can stop the video and rewind if you need to. So first of all, our formula for finding the area of a rectangle is that we will do length times width. So we're going to identify the length and the width. This is going to be called my width here, so I have a width of 7. And I have a length of 4. Those are interchangeable. It doesn't matter which you call which. Now we're going to plug those two values into our formula. And so we've got area then is going to equal 7 times 4. And then we're going to solve that. So our area equals 7 times 4, which is 28. And then we want to remember that that's feet squared. Remember, you can write it like that. You can write 28 feet squared, or you can write 28 square feet, but you do need to label it, and you do need to have that squared representation there. So that's very quickly how to find the area of a rectangle. And the area of a parallelogram is the same formula. The formula is that area equals length times width. The only thing that we need to remember with a parallelogram is that we always want to find our length or width, whichever you call this, from a 90-degree, a line that forms a 90-degree angle with the base. All right, so this is going to be our length of 10 3/10 and our width of 8 6/10. We're going to plug those values into our formula. So again, this is the same as a rectangle. We're just making sure that we get this height here as opposed to this slanted height. And so area is going to be our 10 3/10 times our 8 6/10. Reminder that you can use a calculator here, and that equals 88 58 hundredths, and then our labeling, meters squared. All right, so that's a parallelogram. Then we've got a triangle. For a triangle, we're going to use the formula 1/2 times the base times the height. There are other ways to write this formula. One of the other ways that I like is to take the base times the height and then divide that by 2. So we're going to identify our base. The base is always this portion of the rectangle that the height forms a 90-degree angle with. And so my height then is going to be 22 inches and my base is 10. So I'm going to take my base times my height and then divide it by 2. When I do 10 times 22, I get 220 divided by 2 gives me 110. So my area is 110 inches, in this case, squared. Alrighty. And finally, a trapezoid. So for a trapezoid, we're going to use the formula base, I'm going to write it up here a little bit, base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times the height. So because we have two different size bases, and again the height forms a 90-degree angle with the base, we have to find the average of those two bases. So that's what this base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 is all about. We're just finding the average of the two bases. So base 1, and it doesn't matter whether you call this base 1 or this base 1, it doesn't matter, is 17, base 2 is 10, and then our height, of course, is 11 5/10. So we're going to plug into our formula. We have our base 1 of 17 plus our base 2 of 10, and we're going to divide those by 2, and then we're going to multiply by the height of 11 5/10. So on my calculator, I'm going to do 17 plus 10 divided by 2, and when I do that, I get 27 divided by 2, and then times 11 5/10. And when I work all of this out, 27 divided by 2, and then multiply that by 11 and 5/10, my final answer for my area is going to be 155 and 25/100 feet squared. So very quickly, that is a review of how to find area with different formulas. Just a reminder that you don't have to memorize those formulas. They will be given to you.